Over the past 7 years, I've watched agency owners fuck over their businesses with these 7 habits. Most of them are hustling 60 plus hours a week, burning out, and watching client after client churn. Now, you might think scaling up and just signing more clients would fix this, right? Well, not quite. The more agency owners take on, the thinner they spread and the worse they burn out. The worst part about all of this is that just installing better systems isn't going to cut it, because without fixing these habits, you're just making the same broken model run faster. But here's the good news. I've trialed and errored these habits over the past 7 years and built a $5.5 million marketing and consulting company with 80% profit margins, all while working just 5 hours a week. If you want to see how I did it, then let's dive into these 7 habits screwing your agency right now. Habit number 1, differentiation deficit. The first habit fucking your agency is what I call the differentiation deficit. Let me be brutally honest. If you're still selling Facebook ads, Google ads, or basic SEO like everyone else, you're dying a slow death. Every day you compete on price instead of value, you're training your clients to see you as a replaceable commodity. I see this all the time. Talented agency owners trapped in a race to the bottom because they can't articulate why someone should choose them over the agency down the street charging half the price. This differentiation failure isn't just hurting your margins, it's destroying your agency's hope of a future. I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. When I first started my marketing agency, I was just another Facebook ads guy. I'd jump on sales calls and hear what makes you different from the other 5 agencies I'm talking to. And honestly, I had no good answer. I'd mumble something about caring more or working harder, but clients saw right through it. I was losing deals to agencies charging half my rates or getting ghosted after the call. One particular client, a roofing company owner, told me bluntly, "Look, Nick, I like you, but this other agency is charging $500 per month. Why should I go with you?" And at that point, I had a bit of a wake-up call and realized I was in a race to the bottom that I could never win. Here's how to fix your differentiation deficit. First, stop positioning yourself as a service provider and start positioning as a specialist who solves specific business problems for a specific industry. Instead of saying, "I run Facebook ads," it's, "I help roofing companies acquire 10 to 15 roof replacements every single month predictably without relying on referrals or third-party lead vendors." This requires you to have a niche and a unique offering for this niche. The more specific you are, the more you can differentiate your offer. Second, develop a proprietary methodology or framework. For me, it was a leverage consulting framework, a complete system that solved the entire customer acquisition process for our clients, where most other companies just focused on one piece of the puzzle. Not only would we generate them leads, we'd implement an AI appointment setter, help them with their sales process and operations, and even launch hiring funnels. This meant that I had covered every part of the process, from the lead coming into their business to turning it into a real ROI for them. Third, package your knowledge into a solution, not a service. When I repackaged my offer from Facebook ads for $2K per month to the complete customer acquisition system for roofers at $10K, my close rate tripled and price objections virtually disappeared. Remember, in a world of commoditized services, the riches are in the niches. Habit number 2, self-sabotaging fulfillment. This is where you become the bottleneck in your own business, doing everything yourself, trapped in implementation hell and wondering why you can't break through to the next level. Let me be direct. If your clients can't get results without your personal involvement, you don't have a business, you have a job disguised as entrepreneurship. This implementation addiction is why you're working 60 plus hour weeks, missing family events, and still can't scale beyond a handful of clients. Your agency is only as big as your personal capacity, and trust me, that's a ceiling you need to break through right now. And I discovered this the hard way, because it wasn't until I found a simple 4-step system to free myself from the fulfillment trap for good. I used to wake up every morning to a barrage of client messages. "Nick, can you make this change? Nick, the ad isn't performing well enough. Nick, we need to get this done by tomorrow." I was the one creating the ads, managing the campaigns, sending the reports, and hopping on calls. My business completely depended on me showing up every day. I remember missing my mom's birthday because a client had an emergency that required me to fix their funnel. I was making good money, but I had zero freedom. And the worst part, when I tried to scale by taking on more clients, the quality of my work suffered, clients churned, and I'd have to start the cycle all over again. Here's 4 ways to escape the fulfillment trap. First, fix your mind. As a business owner, you're not a doer, you're an advisor. Stop seeing yourself as the person who executes tasks and start seeing yourself as the strategic mind behind the operation. Second, create clear boundaries with clients from day one. I tell new clients, you're not hiring me specifically for implementation, you're hiring my brain, my methodology, and my system. This will set expectations about personal involvement. Third, develop a value-based pricing model. When clients pay for outcomes rather than hours, they stop caring about personal involvement and start focusing on results. Fourth, introduce a transition plan for your team. I gradually brought team members into client relationships, starting with joint calls and eventually having them lead day-to-day communications while I focused purely on strategy. Remember, becoming irreplaceable to your clients might feel good for your ego, but it's a prison for your business. True freedom comes when you can deliver amazing results without being personally involved in every detail. The third habit fucking your agency is what I call acquisition syndrome. This is where you're trapped in an endless cycle of hunting for new clients because your existing ones keep walking out the door. You're on a hamster wheel of ignoring retention, accepting toxic clients with red flags everywhere, and saying yes to anyone willing to accept your Stripe invoice. I burned through 15 clients in my first year before I discovered the 3 pillars of client retention that transformed my business from a revolving door to a profit machine. I used to live in a perpetual state of panic about where my next client was coming from. I'd land a client, do the work for 60 to 90 days, then they'd leave because they weren't seeing results fast enough or they found someone cheaper. So I'd spend half my time chasing new leads, doing discovery calls, and pitching. It was absolutely exhausting. I remember landing a big client in the legal industry even though we had zero experience there. I was so desperate for revenue that I ignored all the red flags. 3 months and countless headaches later, they fired us because we didn't understand their industry. That single bad client cost us thousands of opportunity costs and nearly burnt out my entire team. It would have been 10 times easier focusing on the niche I was already confident in. Here's how to cure acquisition syndrome. First, focus on a specific niche where you can become the go-to expert. When I niched down to home service businesses, our expertise compounded with each client, making results more predictable and retention higher. Second, create an ecosystem funnel instead of relying on direct response. The funnels that worked in 2020 don't work now. Today's buyers need to consume 5 to 7 pieces of content before they trust you enough to buy. Build a content ecosystem across multiple platforms: YouTube, Instagram, email, so prospects are pre-sold before they ever get on a call. Third, focus on client results above all else. When your offer solves the complete business's problem instead of just one piece, clients stay longer, pay more, and refer others. This is why leverage consulting is so powerful. You're solving the whole puzzle, not just one piece. Habit number 4, pricing delusion. Charging pennies for dollars of value, over-delivering beyond what clients pay for, and completely failing to capture your true worth in your business. This is why you're working 60-hour weeks, but your bank account doesn't show it. I was the same way until a mentor taught me this 3-part pricing framework that took me from begging for $2,000 per month retainers to closing multiple $10,000 upfront packages almost overnight. I used to think $2,000 per month retainers were amazing. I remember celebrating when we hit 10 clients at $2,000 each, $20,000 per month. But then reality set in. After paying for ads, software, a VA, and other expenses, my actual profit was maybe $8,000. And for that $8,000, I was working 12-hour days, weekends, and had constant anxiety. The turning point came when I was on a call with a roofing client. I'd helped them land a $25,000 job through our marketing, but they were complaining about paying me $2,000. I realized I was creating massive value, but capturing almost none of it. That client made more profit from one job I generated than they paid me for an entire year of service. Here's how to cure your pricing delusion with the 3-part pricing framework. First, price based on value, not time or deliverables. When my AI appointment setter books a $25,000 job for a client, that value doesn't change whether it took me 10 minutes or 10 hours to set that AI up. Second, charge upfront for implementation. Instead of small monthly retainers, I now charge 10 to 15K upfront to implement my leverage consulting framework. Then you'll get them such great results that you can charge $3,000 to $5,000 per month to manage their entire system. Third, create results-based packages rather than service-based ones. Don't sell Facebook ads management. Sell 15 roof replacements per month, guaranteed. When you focus on the outcome clients want, not the service you provide, you can charge what the outcome is actually worth. This shift alone took me from struggling to charge $2,000 per month to easily commanding $10,000 to $15,000 upfront plus monthly retainers, all while delivering more value to clients. Which now brings me to habit number 5, system deficiency. The 5th deadly mistake crippling your agency is system deficiency. Building everything custom for each client, reinventing the wheel over and over, and scaling by adding more clients instead of smarter systems. This keeps you trapped in implementation hell with no way out. For this habit, you're going to learn a 3-step systematization framework that allows me to deliver 10x better results in half the time. And I'll show you exactly how it works. I used to think being super customized for each client was my competitive advantage. Every new client meant building campaigns from scratch, creating custom reporting dashboards, and reinventing the wheel. I thought I was being thorough, but but I was actually being inefficient. I used to do marketing for any company in any industry. I spent weeks building completely different campaigns, landing pages, and automations for each. I was working twice as hard for the same results, but none of these companies were willing to pay more for all this custom work. Meanwhile, other agency owners were making double what I was while working half the hours. This is when I decided to go all in marketing for roofing companies. After I did that, everything became productized. Campaigns were pretty much 80 to 90% of the way there, and it would take me less than an hour to launch campaigns. So here's the 3-step framework you need to cure your system deficiency. First, build templated solutions you can deploy across similar clients. I now have a complete AI infrastructure for home service businesses that we can implement in hours, not weeks. Second, focus on creating leverage. The goal isn't to deliver custom work, it's to deliver custom results using standardized systems. When I consult clients now, I'm leveraging knowledge and systems I've already built, not creating everything from scratch. The other thing to remember is that standardized systems means consistent results. Third, document everything. Create SOPs, process maps, and training materials so you can delegate implementation. This is the key to scaling vertically, which means more profit per client rather than horizontally. One of our agency owners, Emily, implemented these systems and went from struggling with 2 clients to landing 7, all while taking a month-long vacation with her family. That's the power of systems. This leads me to habit number 6, being a glorified order taker. The 6th habit destroying your agency is being a glorified order taker, letting clients treat you as an expense rather than an investment. Taking orders instead of giving strategic direction, and staying in your lane when clients need complete solutions. I used to pride myself on being responsive to clients. A client would say, change this ad, and I'd do it immediately. They say, we want to try this new platform, and I'd agree even though I knew it wouldn't work. I thought being accommodating made me a good service provider. The reality, clients saw me as an implementer, not an advisor. I remember a client who insisted on targeting 18 to 65-year-olds in their Facebook campaign despite my objections. I did what they asked and the campaign failed. And guess who got blamed? Me. I got fired for implementing exactly what they ordered, and I realized being an order taker was a losing position. Here's 4 steps on how to stop being an order taker. First, position yourself as a strategic advisor from day one. In your sales calls, your discovery process, and content, emphasize the strategy and results, not just the implementation. Second, take control of the relationship by having a defined process clients must follow. I now tell clients, here's how we work, here's our process, and here's what we need from you. This establishes authority and respect. Third, be willing to push back and say no. When clients hire you for your expertise but then ignore it, that's a recipe for failure. The best client relationships are partnerships, not master-servant dynamics. When I made this shift, not only did clients respect me more, but our results improved dramatically because we were implementing proven strategies, not random client requests. Which leads me to the last habit fucking your agency. Habit number 7, value ceiling. A value ceiling is sticking to single service packages, missing opportunities to solve bigger problems, and failing to develop back-end offers that deliver higher value. This is why you're stuck at the same revenue level month after month. For years, I only offered one service, Facebook ads management. I'd get a client, run their ads for months, and that was it. I thought I was maximizing my value by focusing what I was best at. What I didn't realize was that I was leaving massive opportunities on the table. One client, a pool company, was paying me $2,500 a month for lead generation. I was generating great leads, but they weren't converting well. Instead of seeing this as my problem, I thought, well, it's just their sales process, which is not my area. Later, I found out they hired a sales consultant for $20,000 to fix their conversion problem. That could have been me capturing that value if I hadn't created an artificial ceiling. Here's how to break through your value ceiling. First, expand your vision of the client journey. Don't just focus on your piece. Look at the entire process from lead to customer and identify all the gaps where you could add value. Second, create ascension offers. Once clients get results from your initial offer, what's the next level of value you can provide? For me, after implementing the core AI infrastructure, we offer growth consulting, such as sales consulting, even helping them hire with hiring funnels. Third, solve complete problems, not partial ones. Real business owners don't want leads, they want growth. They don't just want appointment setters, they want sales. When you position yourself to solve the complete problem, you remove your value ceiling. This is the essence of leverage consulting. You're not just providing a service, you're transforming the entire business. When done right, there's virtually no limit to what clients will pay for this level of value. If you want to give your agency the best chance in 2025, you'll want to watch this next video on the 7 AI skills that will make or break your business in 2025. Or click the link in the description to book a one-to-one call with me and we'll figure out exactly where your agency is fucked.